Nation, how y'all doing? Shows we got one on here, but I'm sure more will jump in. So let me know when y'all come in and I will introduce y'all. Give you a little shout out. I'm going to be taking a drink of this. I've been sitting here and I've been waiting on this Buffalo Trace. First drink of the evening. Ranger 10 is in the house. How are you, sir? You were the number one that's popped up. Oh, there we go. Yeah, YouTube's doing something weird. It showed like 5 people on here, and then now it's down to 1. So I don't know what's going on. But again, I've only been on here for 46 seconds, so, and I haven't seen an announcement or anything. Well, there's more people jumping in here. Thank you, Ranger, for being that on the spot wrench turner or wrench smacker. Appreciate you, man. That was good. You give me another little sip. But yeah, I got some items we'll go over tonight. I think some of it's kind of funny. Must be a big delay because I haven't seen it pop up and say, hey, you're live. I mean, usually it'll pop up and say Big Johnson chat or whatever. And then I'll see a bunch of people comments popping in here, but always locked and loaded. Yes, sir. Shows there's 8 on here. Oh, there's Redbird. Hello, Redbird. How are you doing? Hope y'all are staying warm in some of those colder areas. There it goes. It says Big Johnson is live now. It just popped up on my phone for the YouTube alert. Only 2 minutes late, but at least, hell, last week it didn't even do it. Y'all staying warm? I know some areas are getting some crazy snow. So if you're, hello MZ, how are you? We'll let some more people jump in here while I drink some more whiskey. Rich B says, still eating turkey leftovers. No, we're done. The bad thing is my wife got sick. She ended up getting like a little flu kind of thing. Was running a fever and all kinds of junk. And so we didn't have Thanksgiving on Thursday or the regular Thanksgiving day. We had to wait. We kind of postponed it with our family and they put it off until this past Sunday. So instead of going over there Thursday, we went over there Sunday. We just stayed home and kind of hung out and watched TV and football. Redbird says 10 inches of snow and cold. Damn. Ranger got 5 inches yesterday in Indiana. That's crazy. It was cold here. We haven't gotten any snow. We did have some rain. But, cold here is nothing compared to cold there, though, especially this time of year. I think the coldest it got was like 29, but that didn't include wind chill, but I think it got like to 28, 29. So, oh boy. Mrs. Big Johnson is in there. She got the vacuum cleaner out. I can hear her. So hopefully it's not interrupting our chat. But it shows we got 10 people on. Yeah, YouTube was doing something weird at first. It was like flickering and then had 8 people on, then went down to 5, and then went down to 1, and then went down up to 5. So now it's showing 10 and 4 thumbs up. But Ranger says supposed to get down to 12 tonight with wind chill around 0. Damn, that's gonna be cold. That's gonna be baby making weather. All right, well, the title of the chat is Too Expensive to EDC. And I've had so many comments in the past and recently, like when I showed that EPL, like the Cloud Defense EPL on some of those pictures, I had some people reach out and they're like, are you carrying that? Man, that's a lot of money, blah, blah. And I was like, no, that particular that MPA, the big 5-inch one, I don't carry it. But Anyway, I had some people, commenting like, "Man, your EDC guns are too expensive. What if you get them taken away? Blah 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 blah." Hang on one second, Johnson.
What?
Turn off that.
I'm busy.
What's up, BB?
I'll be done directly.
All right, she's gonna be done directly. I don't remember what I was talking about. Anyway, Rich B says, "Do you know of a mag extension that works on a CZ-P10C will work on the Nocturne?" Yes, as long as you have the dual cut in the mag, it will work. You can. I use the +5. Oh shit, what are they? Oh crap, I can't even remember the name of them. I've got videos on them way back. Well, I just showed it in the video, but I didn't say the name of it. Crap, I can't think of the name of it. Comes with a power spring. I've got them for my P10F. I've got them for my P07, but it's a +5. It's aluminum. The mag plate comes off the bottom, but they work really, really well. So yes, you can use them for your P10C, and it will work on the Nocturne because they're the same mag. As long as you got the dual cuts and not the old P07 mag with the single cut, it will work in both of them. So just buy the dual cut mags or use your dual cut mags to put the extensions on. Oh, I was talking about the gun taken away. Yeah, Ranger says, "I don't worry about mine getting taken from me." Have they heard the phrase cold dead hands? Yes. I agree, and that's the way I look at it. Guns that I shoot really, really good, why would I not carry them? And I'm not saying you have to carry like a freaking 6-inch 2011 if that doesn't fit your body type and it's not comfortable to carry. But if you shoot something good, just because it's expensive, your chances of having to use it, are super slim. I don't know the exact statistics, but, would you rather try to get off clean shots, or do you want to shoot something teeny tiny that's too small for you, but it's comfortable to carry, or some high point because it's cheap that you don't shoot good, or that has a horrendous trigger, and again, like I've always said, people can always carry what they want to carry. I do not care. I do not judge people. And I know there's budgets for different people. I understand that. I completely understand that. But I want to have the advantage. And if it's an expensive gun or a tricked out gun or, a comped gun or gun with light and a dot and whatever else, I want every advantage I can get. So, and again, sometimes I'll carry the $6,000 ones with all the doodads on it. Sometimes I'll carry the $500, $600, $700 ones with the doodads on it. The $1,000 ones with the doodads on it. It just varies. But I don't think you should limit yourself and say, "Oh, that's my range only gun because it's too expensive." And it's a carryable gun. I'm not saying some big old monster thing that you got to jam in your pants. But I'm saying something that you could carry and you shoot really, really well. Why not carry it? Hello, Lynn Holt. How are you, buddy? Let's see. Stephen Rivers is asking, you like Canics? Yeah, some of them. I mean, I've had them in the past. Their double action, single actions are not that great. They're kind of a knockoff of a CZ. The triggers are horrendous, and you really can't do a lot to them to make them better. But their striker fires are not bad. And the triggers are pretty good on them. But I don't own any currently that I carry, so I haven't really chased that dragon. I know a lot of people do, but I'm not knocking the guns. I have heard from people that I trust over a long period of time they can fail, or right off the bat they can fail. So I would just say test it, see what you think about it. If it works for you. Just monitor it, take it apart periodically, look at it, clean everything. Just look at your wearable parts just to make sure everything's not fatiguing. Just with normal inspection. That's what I would recommend. Hello, Turkey. How are you? 100% truth, that's going to hurt. Which part? Did you see Vortex has come out with 2 different models of closed emitter red dots? Yes, Ranger, I did see that. And one of them is like, what, 100 and something doll hairs? I mean, it's really inexpensive. There sure is so many discussions around this topic. Carry what makes you happy and you shoot best. If it does not get used, that is the least of your worries. I agree. Turkey says exactly. I carry cheap PD trades all the way to my Nighthawk or Korth. Everything in between. Yeah, I don't think you should justify, and it kind of goes back to that saying, I know y'all heard it, what's your life worth? Well, all this other stuff. Now, of course, in my situation, if I get one taken in a situation, I have others. Some people might not be as fortunate as that, and I completely understand. However, don't limit yourself. That's all I would say. I would recommend, and that's just a recommendation. My opinion means nothing. I just get asked that so much, like, oh my God, I don't see how you carry that. That's crazy. I mean, people like actually get pissed off. They like are insulted that I'm carrying an expensive gun. And I'm like, whoa, Turbo, you have your life. I have my life, carry what you want. What's up, Trigger Bar? How are you? We got Turkey's opinion on here. Trigger Bar, a lot of guys have channels, so please go over and subscribe to them. Hey, Dexter, how are you doing, buddy? Ranger said the cheaper model has a Delta Point Pro footprint. The more expensive one has an RMS footprint. Yeah, I did see that. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't have a whole bunch of guns that are Delta Point Pro milled. I have a lot of RMR milled. And I understand some people like the Delta Point Pro footprint. Some people like the RMR footprint. I just have more guns milled for the RMR or the Acro or the MPS, and things like that. But, again, whatever you're comfortable with, please do. Turkey's Vinny says, if your Gucci blaster saves your life, it's worth it. Go buy 3 more. Exactly. And like I said, some of the guns I really, really enjoy, I have 2 of. So I kind of have a twin, But I'm not saying everybody needs to go out and buy 2. But whatever floats your boat. Snow shoveling today. Oh boy. Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier before other people jumped on. I've got a buddy that's up north and he's like, wow, man, we got blasted. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Damn, I'm trying to slide this. Amanda says, who makes the best AR in your opinion? Oh my gosh, there's so many good makers. I would say for the money, if you're just talking for the money and for the product that you're getting, the rails, things like that, BCM is hard to beat for the money. Now there's more expensive ones, but I really do like BCM. I like the products they offer. If you're going to get a complete AR and you're not going to build it yourself, some of these I've built, and I have others that I've built, and some of these were custom built. But kind of out of the box, BCM's hard to beat. And of course, you can change your charging handle. You can add some other things. You can add your furniture. You can change it, make it the way it works for you. But I would probably say BCM is good to go. But always test. Whatever you buy, always test it. Don't just, it's good to go and load it up and don't go shoot it. You shoot the damn thing, sight it in, make sure it works for you. Also, I needed to write this down. I did get with Steiner, I think it was yesterday or the day before. I called their customer service and I had to send in my MPS, one of them. And I've talked about this before. It has a scratch or a crack on the rear window. What's up, you Navy vet? How are you, buddy? It has a crack on the back, and it's weird. It doesn't go from side to side. It's directly in the middle. It's just a little crack. I would say it's a crack or a bubble. I thought I could feel it with my fingernail. I tried it again when I was on the phone with them, and I can't. So I'm wondering if it's a crack from the inside. But I shook it. There's nothing loose that could have banged around in there. So I'm like, how the hell did that thing get cracked? And I was telling the guy on the phone, and he goes, "That's weird. We've never seen that." And he goes, "Send it in. You know, I'll send you a label and all that other stuff." So he sent me a label, but it was not postage paid. I paid to ship it to them. He said they're running about 5 to 6 weeks. You know, I'm assuming that's turnaround time. He didn't say that, but he said 5 to 6 weeks. You know, so that might be 5 to 6 weeks before they even get to mine. I don't know. He said they'll, you know, take a look at it and they'll either repair it or they'll replace it. So that's what he's told me, and it's the black MPS. It's not the FDE MPS. So, you know, but I've got a ton of dots. It's not like I needed that one. Matter of fact, I'm already testing another one, so that's why I took the MPS off, and I was like, this is the perfect time to get it sent and done. Now, I always target focus, so it really doesn't show up. However, if I look at it, it's right in the line of the dot. So it's a little annoying, but it's weird. It's right where the dot is. It's not cracked side to side. It's just right there. So I don't know how the hell it happened. Let's see here. Damn, Unit 4 says, yeah, I woke up 11 inches Sunday morning. Wow. That's crazy. That's a lot of damn snow. Again, it's been cold here, you know, in the morning time, but we haven't gotten any snow, just rain. So the Steiner is officially sent off. I sent it myself and got tracking. I did bump the insurance on it, you know, to meet the value of it. But I guess I'll pay for it there, and hopefully they'll pay for it back. I'm assuming they will. You know, maybe they just want to verify it and look at it, you know, first before they, you know, consent to working on it. It's still under their warranty, so. And I was like, man, I hadn't thrown this one like I have some other ones or anything like that, so. But he seemed like, you know, that it wasn't going to be a problem, so I guess we'll see. Also, Olight reached out, and they asked, probably because I did the Cloud Defense EPL Lite little review. You know, I just got this one, so I did the little light review, and probably a day after I put those two videos out, the short and the long. The short's doing really well. The long's not doing all that great, but you know, it is what it is. Olight reached out and they're like, "Oh, we would love for you to check out some of our weapon lights, you know, for a rifle and pistol, and blah blah blah." And I was like, "Do you watch my videos?" I'm like, "Here we go again." But I just thought that was funny, so they reached out to me, and I was like, "Eh." So I deleted it. I didn't respond. I didn't give them any grief. I just kind of went, "Eh, whatever." So. Thanks, Trigger Bar. I appreciate you. Yeah, y'all hit that thumbs up. We got 19 in here and 9 thumbs up. Dexter says they just don't want to take no for an answer, do they? I guess not. I don't know. Like I said, they apparently saw that I posted weapon light videos, because it seems like every time I post one, they send me an email. I mean, for the light. They've reached out on the dots before. Oh, they did reach out for the dot one and also say, "Oh, we have knives," but I already knew they had knives, the O knife. But yeah, I guess I told them way back when, I was like, "Do not reach out to me anymore. I'm not going to check any more of your stuff out. Please delete me from your register or whatever." But I'm sure they're just doing it by, you know, probably the YouTube. They look at the channels and then reach out to them. They didn't do it in a comment. They did it in email. So, let's see here. Dexter, they just don't take no for an answer. Yeah. Yeah, Unit 4 says, "Oh, like reached out to you." That's like Subway reaching out to Turkey. Yeah. Say, oh no, yeah. Armstrong says, hey man, I like that O side. Impressive. I'm becoming an Olight fan as long as they send it for free. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I have had people, when I talk about this, I've had people reach out and go, hey, get one. Just take some for free and then test them and then send them out to your viewers and, share them and blah, blah, blah. But if y'all know me, and I'm not saying their newer stuff is not decent. I'm not saying that, okay? But it's kind of like Instagram. When they started screwing me and, like suppressing my videos or my pictures and like just doing all that stupid shit to me. I was like, hell with Instagram. I dumped Instagram. I never went back. People are like, oh, you'll be back. Man, it's been like 4 years. I'm not going back. Well, it's kind of like the same thing with Olight. It wasn't just one of them. It was 2 weapon lights and 1 handheld light, the little handheld light. So I had 3 failures with Olight. 3, you're out. I mean, really 2, you're out. So, it's kind of like, yeah, I could get it, but then I'm going to waste ammo testing the thing and then take it off and send somebody a used one. I'm just like, it's not my gig. So, no offense. I mean, I would love to send y'all, and I will after the first, like I said. Trigger Bar says, I did get one. Bought with my own money. I want to test it. There you go. It's a very cheap to enclose optic, yeah. Yeah, Dexter, I mean, like I've always said, the only thing you have at the end of the day, if everything goes away, the only thing you have is your name. And I don't, I work with people that I've been working with for many, many, many years that I really like their stuff and I'll recommend it. But the other stuff, I'll just do reviews and I'm going to tell you if I like it or not, whether they send it to me for free or not. But, I haven't had any problems with Sealy. I haven't had any problem with Vector Optics. I've told you I've had a SRO fail. They replaced it. Now I send in the MPS. They're going to do whatever they're going to do. Y'all will find out. I had 2 Delta Point Pros fail. And I told you I won't ever use a Delta Point Pro. I mean, I'm honest about shit. And that's shit that I paid for, and I paid a lot for it. So just since you send me something, that's not a free pass. What's up, Pop Doctor? How are you, buddy? Unit 4 says, I don't even have that. I'm a junior. Also, Pop Doctor has a channel too. I did mention Turkey's Opinion, and I mentioned Trigger Bar. They have channels, so does Pop Doctor. So y'all go over and check those guys out. And then I want to ask y'all this. And again, like I said, y'all could carry what you want. I don't care. But what's the most expensive gun that you've ever carried on your person that you can think of? And I know for Turkey, the quartz aren't cheap, and he's carried that, he said. But what's the most expensive gun you've carried? Yeah, I am going to check that out. Trigger Bar had that great P30 video yesterday. Pop Doctor saying, yeah, and I'm going to check that out. I just haven't yet. I've been busy with work. Pop Doctor said he had an acro fail. It was a problem, but they replaced it. That's cool. And like I said, I want to, give the companies a chance to replace them. And that's kind of like with Olight. I reached out when I had these failures to my Olight team member and never heard back. And then I reached out to a different one, to their customer service. Never heard back. So I'm just like, okay, guess y'all are just treating me like, and I wasn't trying to be anybody special because I'm not. I want them to treat me like a normal customer because I want to see how they're really going to treat their customers. That's even like with this Steiner. I didn't say, hey, I've got a YouTube channel. I didn't say anything. Nothing. I just said, hey, my name and, I've got this problem. Boom. I didn't say a word because I want to see if they're going to treat me just as regular as they're going to treat, because I'm just a regular guy, but I just want to make sure there's no favoritism or anything like that. Armsman says we'll only carry a Taurus. Everything else is too expensive. Rich Beast says Staccato P. Ranger says my SIG 226 Legion, which I'm carrying these days. Okay. That's cool. Yeah, I've carried some expensive ones over the days. Staccato CS, Nighthawk TRS Comp, Sig Nightmare Fastback, Lynn Holt. Yeah, I mean, I've carried my Les Bear, which was $7,000, but you couldn't put a light or a dot on it back in the day. I've carried the Staccatos with the dots and the lights. I've carried my MPA, not the 5-inch, but the 4-inch with the dot and the light. I mean, I've carried some expensive ones, but that's what I'm saying. I shoot them good, so why wouldn't I carry them? It's kind of like the guy that has like the really nice classic car and it sits in the garage, or the supercar and it sits in the garage. It's like, I want to drive them, I want to shoot them, I want to play with them, I want to carry them, I want to get good with them, I want to use them, That's just me. Pop Doctor says I've switched to an HK CC9. And that thing is Fuchs. It's my favorite micro carry. I also have carried a custom PX4, Shadow 2 Compact, have a PPK on order. That's cool. Arms said I'm joking. Of course, I've carried the Staccato C2, Walther PPQ, 4-inch frame, Shadow 2 Compact, nothing more than 2800 through. Yeah, that's good. What's up, Adrian? How are you, man? Dexter says some of those are under contract as far as new cars. Pop Doctor says, what's the point of having a thing if you can't use it? Yeah, and I really don't have any safe queens. I have a bunch of guns I haven't shot in forever, but they've all been shot. Some of them just aren't, like a lot of the rifles, if I can't put a dot on them just with my eyesight, I'm just like, man, I don't want to shoot a bunch of iron sight guns anymore. Not saying they're bad, just they're not my gig anymore. That sucks, Adrian. Yeah, I've been through that before too. Hang in there, man. Turkey Spinny says I may have just bought my first Safe Queen. Great deal on a Minty 1911 from a very cool collection. Other than that, send it. Yeah. I still would want to go shoot that thing. Dexter says when you sign the contract, because it's limited production, they know it will be worth money. The manufacturer doesn't want you to drive it. Yeah. It's because a lot of that shit breaks. That's like a lot of these, that's like a lot of these supercars, man. And I'm just being honest, and I'm a car guy. A lot of these supercars, there's no freaking way in God's green earth I'd buy some of these supercars. It's just so stupid. The maintenance on them is crazy. The fit and the comfortability of the car sucks. Now, of course, a lot of them are fast. I get that. But, even if I had a ton of money, I'd probably have, if I was going to pick some supercars, or I guess my version of supercars, because I've had this question before, but I don't think I've ever answered it. I think that the question was something like, if you're going to buy a modern supercar, what would you buy? I think is what somebody asked me. And, granted, some of these could be counted as supercars, not supercars, but I would probably have a Porsche, probably like a 911 turbo or an RS4. Because of the handling, those cars are insane with handling. And of course, they're rear-wheel drive. Some of the Audis are cool, like the R8, but the dependability for the long haul is a piece of shit. Probably have a Lambo. Um, they're still crazy to work on though, but and honestly, I mean, probably just have like a big old truck or like a Hummer One, bulletproofed, turned diesel, something like that. I'd probably just have something cool like that, or mostly classic cars. Probably buy, and I had a '70 Cuda, but it was not street legal. It was a drag car. Probably buy a '70 Cuda that I could actually drive on the street. Um, Probably get like another, probably get like another Camaro or Firebird, like a Trans Am, like the old Smokey and the Bandit car, and trick it out with an LS. You know, something like that. I'm more of an old classic car guy than a new, buy off the shelf like Corvette guy. That's not really my gig. But they are cool cars, don't get me wrong. But it's not my jam. Lidholt says, I guess it depends on where you are and how you carry. With all those bears, you need some horsepower. Any wheel gun carry. Back in the day, I did carry a 38 special. It was a custom 38 that was done by the Smith & Wesson Performance Shop before it was the Performance Shop. However, we can't find that gun. I think I talked about it on another chat. My dad liked it so much that he wanted it at his house because he was going to use it. And since he's passed, we can't find it. So I don't know if one of the workers that redid their bathroom or, painted the inside of the house. I don't know if somebody stole it, but I can't find it. That, and I'm missing a Rolex from him. So, I don't know. But yeah, I just say carry whatever you're comfortable with. Don't worry about, oh my gosh, Yeah, prayers, Adrian. Take care, brother. Have a good night. One mag. Dexter says if you break it, then they will kick you off the list to purchase later. Yeah. Kit car. Yeah, I've built some cars before. A helicopter. There you go. Heck yeah. I had the chance to buy a plane one time, a Cessna 172, and I'm an AMP, so I could fix everything on it. It had a timed out engine, so I'd have to put a Lycoming in it, which I could get very easily and rebuild it and make it airworthy. But I'm not a pilot, so I don't have my official pilot's license, and that's not an experimental, so I would have to have a pilot's license. But it's easy to work on. But yeah, I could have bought it super, super cheap. And I was like, eh. And one thing I used to do, I haven't ever advertised it, but, well, I don't know. If you pull it up, you might see some that I did. I took out timed out engines. These are reciprocating engines. They're called pullers. It's a Lycoming 550. But it's a puller plane that goes like on a Cessna and shit like that. But timed out non-airworthy engines, I would take them off the plane, people's planes, put another engine on, let them go by the way. And I said, what are you going to do with your old engine? They said, I don't want it. So I was like, cool. So I took those engines, put a rebuilt kit in it, new gaskets, seals, rings, and everything, but I could not make them airworthy. They were non-airworthy. But I actually built them and put pusher props on them instead of puller props. So it's not pulling you, it's pushing you. And I sold them to airboat These were custom. They were kind of like tricked out swamp engines for the fan boats that they use in Louisiana. And I sold a bunch of them after I built them up. I was selling those things. I think I sold like 8 or 10 of them. Because there was a bunch of guys that were racing those boats. Swamp boats, you know, those airboats. I'd have someone make me a replica Superbird, yeah. See, and that was the thing. I could have gotten my dad's car. He had a 70 RT Plum Crazy Purple Charger, all original, all number matching. It was not a 446 pack. It was a 444 barrel. All number matching. Not a speck of dust on this car. Perfect. It was actually a Penda listed car. There was only 6 that met the quality in the whole United States. Or I'm sorry, well, in the US. And I was just like, I couldn't fit in it very good because of my length of my legs. The seat would only go back so far. And if you remove the seat and move it back, then you've altered it. So I told my dad to sell it and keep the money because he was getting older and it was sitting in the garage. But I could have had that car and it was really, really nice. Not really a car guy, but my buddy let me launch his Rivian recently. Linear acceleration curve, pinned to the seat. I think it makes about 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. Yeah, electric cars are fun. I'm just not an electric car guy. Ranger says the last car I purchased was the 1982 brand new Chevette for my wife then. I divorced her, didn't mind letting her have it. It was like $32.50. Oh yeah, I remember those. Got me a Chevette. Hello, Pranic. How are you, buddy? Oh yeah. And hell, when my grandmother passed away, she had 2 properties. She had they had 2 houses. They were separated by a fence. They had a big house here on this corner, and the older lady behind them passed away, so my grandma bought that house. So my grandma had her house, and my grandfather had his house. And of course, she would come over, you know, they were married. She'd come over to his house and sleep sometimes, and then she just, when she wanted to be away from him, she'd sleep in her own house. So they had 2 houses. Well, when the Colt pistol I've talked about that was stolen, I got one of her houses, and I ended up blessing one of my family members with it. I just turned it over to them. It was paid off because I wasn't going to live there. It was small. Not saying you have to have a big house, but it was not a premium, or you know what I mean. It was just a really small, basic, older home. It needed some work, so I just gave it to them. It was left to me, but I just gave it to them. Ooh, ham sandwich says 6'5" or 308. For me, definitely 308. And here's the reason. I'm not going to 1,000 yards all the time. I really like, and there's a 308 up here too, and I've got a couple, I got 3 or 4 of them. I like 308 because it's a NATO round. It's everywhere. It's been in existence forever. You can get all kinds of grain weight. If you look at even a reloader, I don't reload, but if you reload, there's so many, I think there's like 200 configurations where 6.5 is way less. I mean, like way, way less, just like a quarter of that, from what I understand. You can shoot light loads, heavy loads, medium loads, whatever you want out of it. I've got a 12.5 and an 18, and I've got a 20. I'm just a 308 guy because it has a lot of oomph from 0 to 500 yards. More than 6.5, but 6.5 has the distance and flatter trajectory. And I'm not shooting 1,000 yards all the time. So I want something more oomph, car doors, walls, things like that. I don't have a 7mm. I have an 8mm. I used to have a 7mm, one of my hunting guns, but I didn't shoot it that much, so I got rid of it a long, long time ago. But I do still have an 8mm. Brandon says, you ever seen Guy Martin rebuild Rolls-Royce Merlin engines, had it on a trailer and took it out to a field and just ran the engine? No, I haven't. I haven't seen that. What's up, Scott? How are you, buddy? 300 PRC, kind of like a ham sandwich, yeah. Everybody's saying hi to each other. 6.5 crate is more accurate, but 308 is more versatile and a bigger hole. Yeah, I'm just old school 308 guy. Nothing against 6.5. I mean, it's a great round. But, and of course, trigger bar does reload, so he knows. Scott says, picked up a slightly used Glock 43 for $267. Beans. Damn, that is a good deal. That is a very good deal. Pop Doctor says 6mm arc, baby. Don't have to buy a new gun, just have to get a new upper. Shoot like 1,000 yards, yeah. And I've seen all the 6mm arc stuff, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. But, I don't know, man. I'm just an old 308 guy. And I mean, that's the cool thing. I've got all the mags, I've got all the bolts, I've got extra bolts for 308. You know, it's just done me right. And I know a lot of the younger guys might say 6.5. You know, that's what I'm saying. It's just preference. There's not a wrong or a right answer. Yes, I was going to bring that up. I have it right here on my notes, Scott. AAC, lack of ammo. Yeah, if you notice, they haven't been running any ammo deals. They haven't been running any ammo deals because supposedly they're running low on primers. They're running low on everything. Gunpowder, primers, you know, all that stuff. So I guess they're having some problems making it, and that sucks because everything's going to the countries. Y'all know who I'm going to talk about if I bring up the names. One starts with a U, the other one starts with an I. But we're sending all this crap over there. And, you know, I'm just like, we got to take care of our own shit. You know? Excuse my French, but America first, baby. I mean, USA first. They can deal with their own shit. And if I make somebody mad, oh well. But that's horseshit, you know? I mean, they're not our children. We're not here to raise them. Sorry. We've got our own children to raise, and we can't even keep up with our own vets, homeless people. I mean, we got all kinds of shit we can't take care of. Oh, crap. Now I'm on a soapbox. Sorry. Yep, raw materials, so guess what's about to probably happen. Ham Sandwich was, what's the scope on that rifle in the back? That one is a Vortex HD Razor 1-6. This one is a Vortex HD AMG. What is it? I don't know, some crazy 4-56 or some shit, but it's called an AMG Razor. It's one of their premium ones. I've had it for a long time. It's a great scope. It's the one, the AMG is the one they made in America. It's an American-made scope. That's one of the reasons I wanted it. It's not cheap, or it wasn't cheap back then. They might have came down if they still even offer them. I don't know. Trail Boss back, yeah. 308, the ability to just find old random awesome stuff at flea markets, no garage sales, etc. Bullets, brass, completed ammo, core, yeah. Yeah, and Turkey's Opinion is a reloader as well. You just can't go wrong with a 308. I've been shooting them forever. I love them. They're great for me. Some people think they kick too much and a 6.5 kicks less, but I mean, I'm a big guy. I can handle it. Scott says, I don't even think there's a shortage. I think the manufacturer's using the excuse to jack up the prices. I'm sure, Scott, they are shipping shit over to the countries that we can't mention. A laundering scheme, it would not surprise me. Yeah, 6mm arc is freaking super expensive. But yeah, that's cool. And that's the thing, Pop Doctor. I mean, I know guys that do long range with 77 grain AR-15s. Now, you're not going to get the oomph, and I get that, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. I've shot long range before. Not saying I don't like it. It's just I'm not patient enough for it. It's kind of like fishing. I'm not a fisherman. I did that stuff when I was a kid and I thought it was fun, but again, I'm an ex golfer. And a lot of people say they don't have the patience for golf, but, I was actually a pretty good golfer. Ham Sandwich says, do you deer hunt? Yes, I haven't been in a long time, but I've got several heads around here. If you see some older videos, I've got a deer head up here that's Billy Jack. I always name them. I've got several of them in the front room. I call them skull caps. It's where it's not the full head, but it's just a cap and you take it off. I've got several of those around the house and I've killed all of them, so they're all mine. I used to do a lot of deer hunting back in the day. Pig hunt, for sure. I haven't been in a long time, but as soon as this leg gets good to go where I can walk in ruts, I'm definitely going to get locked into the pig. Matter of fact, I've got another appointment with the girl tomorrow, and the leg has been doing way better. I haven't used my cane probably in about 3 weeks for anything. I've been walking completely on my own, so I haven't even picked up the cane. It's in the hallway, just there in case, I need it for some weird reason, but I haven't used it or taken it with me on any trips or anything in a long time. I did take it to Austin. I take that back. I took it to Austin just to have it as a backup, and then I ended up leaving it in the truck. And I was just like, I'm not going to mess with it. So I haven't done it anymore. But yeah, so she's going to work on it tomorrow too to even get it better. Lynn Holt says there is no ammo shortage. I took a lot of auction sites there or palletized lots. Okay, cool. Hello, JJ. How are you doing? Absolutely love my PSA AR-10, and I put a Timney trigger in it. Fantastic rifle. Scott says, funny thing is, for those two countries we can't mention, don't really use the calibers that we do. I mean, yeah, we gave them a bunch of guns. Primarily, they're using old Soviet caliber still. Yeah, I agree with that. Ranger says 77 grain green tip is badass. Yeah, I have a bunch of green tip, but it's not 77. It's what is it, 64? I noticed it when Walmart 6.5 Creedmoor had more boxes than 308. I was shocked. Never expected that. Maybe they sold out of the 308 and it was missing. I bet they sold out of it. Pranic says I don't like fishing either. Yeah, it's just too boring for me. Yeah, Precision 22 can take some time. I really do like 22 Precision. I think it's fun. I've done it twice, and I thought it was fun. What is it, the NRL or whatever? It was fun. I'm not that great at it, and I'm going to be honest with you, I need a lot of scope work. That's probably my weakest boogaboo is scope. Like dialing and being perfected with the, oh God, what is it? Kestrel. I'm not perfect at that by any means. So, that is my weakness, I would say. I mean, I can dial and I can count drop and stuff like that for, like 500 yards. After that, I'm not that great. So I'll just be honest with you. I don't hide anything. My range goes, Pop Doctor says my range goes out to 1,000 yards, so I wanted something that could be constant at the range, more of a pistol guy, but the delay on the 6.5 arc, yeah, that's cool. Been picking up some FN products. Yeah, FN supposedly has a new pistol that's coming out too, from what I hear, next year. So I don't know what it looks like. I don't know anything about it. I just heard that FN has a new pistol coming out, so. Yeah, hearing that delayed gong is cool. Yeah, I need patience to get your stuff sighted in. Yeah, 62. That's it. What's up, Zeus? How are you, man? I recognize your icon. I think it is 62. I've just got a ton of green tip. Ham Sandwich says, do you see any difference in 30-06 or and 308? Honestly, I think 30-06 has more kick, but I would say the trajectory for me and everything and the distance I've shot my 30-06, I don't even have one anymore. I used to have two 30-06. And I just went to 308 all the way across the board. I don't see much difference in it. Now, I'm not, the guru of, you know, calibrate, you know what I mean? All that. So I couldn't tell you like, oh, this one's way more beneficial than this one. I just know that 308 is pretty much the modern 30-06. Or more modern, but 308's been around for a million years. I mean, this one up here is not light. I think that's a Lancer L30 heavy metal. That thing is like, the way it's dressed out now, it's like 11 or 12 pounds. But I have a 12 and a half 308 that's very, very light. But I love 308. I mean, I like 30 caliber over 5.56. Your wife feeling better? I hope. Yeah, she's much, much better now. Yeah, it was just like a 3-day deal. It was weird. Jerry Johnson says, I am looking for a really good 308 bolt action rifle under $1,000. I don't know what Tika, I don't know their price ranges. Tika's good. Bagara's good. I mean, out of the box. You can dress them up how you want, put them in chassis later on if you want. But Bagara and Tika, I think, are probably two of the best two out there. Pranic says, people say 30-06 is way better, can be loaded that way, but on paper they're very close. 308 was meant to replace 30-06. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Everybody was like, hey, what do you need your old 30-06s? You have 308s. And I was like, I know, but it's the sentimental, and then I was like, these aren't collectible items. And they weren't passed down, so I was like, I'll get rid of the 30-06s. So I did. Trigger bar says 200 to 300 feet per second, depending on the grain weight of the bullet. Yeah, that's probably right. Rich B says, do you run your 308s all suppressed? They're all set up for suppressors, but I've ran them without suppressors before. I mean, 3 or suppressed doesn't make them like, super quiet. It's not like a 300 blackout sub or anything. Do you think I can hunt with an AR-15 shooting 5.56? Yeah, depending on what you're hunting, and it's all about shot placement too. And your grain of weight. If you're shooting 55 grain, depending on what you're hunting, coyotes and stuff, yeah, no problem. Some deer, you definitely want to up your game with your grain weight. But I have killed, it was a small buck, pretty small buck, but I killed a small buck with a 5.56 one time, only once. But it was superb shot placement. He had his arms out and was bending down, and I popped him, perfect right there. And it just went, and he went, boop, dropped right down. If I wouldn't have had that shot, I probably wouldn't have taken it. But like I said, that was a long time ago. Trigger bar says, yes, Tika T3X or Bagara B14 are awesome. Yeah, he's talking about that for you, Ham Sandwich. Jerry Johnson said, thanks for the knowledge, Big J. I'm really looking at Savage 110 Tactical because it comes with a detachable ACIS magazine. Yeah. Pranic says, I love my 457 and 456. I thought I was amongst friends. No, shit, man. CZ22s, man, they're freaking awesome. You are not wrong. I love me some 22, man. Ranger says I have killed 4 deer with my Glock 40 2mm. All shots were between 40 and 70 yards. Whew, yeah, I mean, that'll do it. That will do it for sure. But I think that small buck was, I don't know, he's in the front room. I want to say he's like a 5-point. One was broken. But it was a small 5-point. It's not a big rack like Billy Jack or some of the others. It was a small rack, but I want to say he was like maybe 100 yards. It wasn't that far. I mean, but I know people have killed them farther. And I know people shoot pigs, and they'll hit them right in that freaking thick-ass blade. And they've shot them, with some good defensive 5.56. But I've killed some of them with 308, 270. I've killed I think Billy Jack was one of my first ones with the 270. I think I've got 3 with the 270 total. That one with the 5.56. Other ones with 308. I got one with a 7mm. That's the only deer I ever killed with 7mm. I want to say that's it. But I've killed pigs with 308, a lot of 308. I've killed pigs with 77 grain 5.56. It was a small pig. And that's just because I happened to have the 5.56 at that time. I killed a pig with a 12 gauge one time. I blew his ass apart. It wasn't a big one either. That was a long time. That was way before YouTube. Triggerworth says I had my daughter's son-in-law and son at the range. They were 9 for 9 at the 100 and 200 yards. That's awesome, man. The farthest I've ever shot was 1,250. I've got it on YouTube. I was with a buddy of mine's 338 Lapua. But prior to that, the farthest I ever shot, and it was this one right here. I'm not going to touch it, but it was that one right there. I shot at 650 yards. 9mm for hood, 10mm for the woods, yeah. Scott says G-Force Arms is making some pretty nice lever action rifles for cheap money, especially considering the pricing on the Smith & Wesson and Marlins. Yeah, I love me a Marlin. Son-in-law scored some points with UTB. I definitely did. Yeah, you too, Ham Sandwich. I appreciate you. Thanks for checking in, and please come back. Love to have you in here. Jerry Johnson says, absolutely love the CZ 457 Jaguar 22 rifle. It's fantastic quiet with my CMMG Defcon suppressor. There you go. Damn, Smith & Wesson 460, yeah. I have a 460 with the 14-inch barrel. Just never took it deer hunting. Yeah, I mean, hell, you could. That thing's a freaking monster. Good Lord. That's basically a rifle right there, man. 460 is no joke. That is no joke. And that's the funny thing. I've never shot, I still have yet. I haven't shot a straight wall cartridge rifle. I haven't shot a 450. I haven't shot a 500. I mean, a pistol, of course. But, I haven't shot any of those straight wall cartridge rifles. Still haven't shot one. Now, I know some states, they're, that's what you have to use. In Texas, you don't. So that's probably why. But I just haven't shot one yet. I had a buddy that had a 450 Legend, and he's like, oh man, you got to shoot this. And I was like, okay, cool. And we were going to meet at the range the next day just to shoot it. But something came up with his work or something, so we never got to do it. But I would love to shoot one. Oh, I bet it is expensive, Ranger. Yeah, I bet it is a lot of fun to shoot. Break out the orange for everybody. We're rocking the orange. The only thing I've ever, well, I guess the most powerful pistol I've ever shot is a 500 Smith & Wesson. I've shot a 460 Casull, or what is it? I think it's a 460 Casull. It wasn't mine. I shot it. It was cool. And then I shot a 500 Smith & Wesson. It was the really, I don't remember the length of the barrel, but it was pretty long. It wasn't mine. And those were definitely pretty cool. Ranger says 450 Legend has basically the same ballistics as a 30-30. Oh, okay. I did not know that. Like I said, I'm not super familiar on the straight wall cartridge stuff. Jerry Johnson says, I shot my father's Marlin 1895 M450 Marlin round. Damn rough, like a mule. Oh, I bet. Oh, dude, I got a shotgun. If y'all ever want to shoot, well, it's a beast. It's a punt gun. I've talked about it before. I'm not going to show it on YouTube. But it's a punt gun. P-U-N-T. It's a freaking 10 gauge. Damn thing's taller than me. That will rip your freaking arm off. It is not fun. It is not fun at all. I've only shot it once in my whole life. And I was like, F that. I'm not shooting that shit anymore. For one, it weighs 1,000,000 pounds. But I think it's, I want to say the length from the ground up is, it's almost 7 feet long. It's freaking crazy. What's up, John Grump? How are you, buddy? Ranger says my 4570 is my mule gun because it kicks like one. Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. Punt guns were for shooting a whole lot of birds with one shot, exactly. It was my grandfather's. Yeah, it's a punt gun 10 gauge. Matter of fact, he used to joke around and he told me that they would be on this cheesy, like, homemade John boat, and they made it out of a hood of a truck. This is the story. They made it, I never saw pictures, but they made the boat out of the hood of a truck. And he would shoot the punt gun and it would move the boat. That's what he says. But I was like, I just want to shoot it. So I shot it and I was like, holy shit. And I had to brace when I shot it. I braced my back up against a tree and that was a freaking mistake. That was a freaking mistake. Because that thing was a freaking beast. Matter of fact, I can't even fit it in I have to put it in a closet. It won't fit in a safe. So it's just sitting in the closet. Yeah, that's what he says. He said he mounted it to the bow, but I don't know if that's true. Not saying my grandfather was a fibber, but you know how exaggeration gets. The fish was that big. Grandpa stories are always the best. They are. He had some good ones. Now, my grandfather was a badass. He was definitely a badass. He didn't take any shit. He would be, he'd be wanting to fight people at freaking like 80 years or 70 years old. Somebody smart off to him. You certainly weren't shooting a 7-foot-long punt gun from the shoulder. No, I took it. It was kind of, I don't know, I braced it. It was weird. I kind of shot it like this, if that makes any sense. It is like 7 foot long. It's a beast. But I've got big old long arms. And this wasn't when I was a little kid. This is when I was an adult. I decided I was going to try to shoot it. And man, that thing tore me up. It tore me up. I think it is about 7 foot long. Because I'm 6'3" and it's taller than me. Maybe it's 6'7" or something. I don't know. But it's pretty damn tall. My 3-year-old grandson loves to help me cut up gel blocks and melt them down for ballistic tests. That's cool. Yeah, he told me they used to put it on this hood of this boat, boat they made out of a hood of a truck. and they would shoot it and it would move the boat. That's what he told me. But he said that they would go shoot a lot of birds with it, with one shot, like what somebody else said. Because they could put a range load in it. I don't know what the range load was. I only have, and when I shot it, I didn't shoot it with any kind of buckshot. I shot it with a bird shot. But I think I only have like one, maybe two boxes of 10 gauge. I got a shitload of 12 gauge, but I might only have like two boxes, and it's his old boxes that he had. So this shit's old as hell, but it's just bird shot. It's not any kind of buckshot or anything. But yeah, it's freaking crazy. But yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, my granddaughter's now 8 months, so man, she's growing like a weed. She's already starting to crawl around, standing up. I mean, she's probably gonna be running around the house soon. So yeah, she's doing really good. Let's see here. Oh, also, I ordered all those accessories for my truck. I've got everything on it. I have one left, and I've got all the brackets. So the brackets came because it was a 1 of 2 shipment, so it's a 2-box shipment. So I got all the brackets, but the freaking steps, my side steps, have been in Laredo for like 2 weeks. I'm sorry, not 2 months, 2 weeks. They're supposed to be FedEx to me, and I think I was going to get them within like 3 days, and they're stuck in Laredo. So they don't. I don't know shit from Shinola about where they are, what's going on with them. Our guy's checking on them, but I'm like, I just look at the tracker and it's like Laredo. So they're stuck at some Laredo hub. So anyway, that's where they are. So I'm still waiting for just my steps to come in, and then I'll put those on, and then it'll be 100% completed. But yeah, it's been over 2 weeks. So every time I look at it, like every other day, it just says Laredo. Hadn't moved. So I don't know if they lost them, if they're on a truck somewhere. I don't know what the hell's going on with them. But my guy's supposed to be tracking them down. Let's see here. Haven't even seen 10 gauge ammo in many years. Probably have to reload for it. Yeah, I don't know if it's even available. Like I said, I've got 2 boxes, and this was from when he had it. And I think it's only really like a box and a half, but it's all birdshot. Time for the airsoft for the granddaughter. Oh yeah, trust me. She's going to be getting some guns. Don't worry about that. And she's going to be trained. I wouldn't be buying anything off Amazon right now. I bought some new earbuds, and they're no delivery date, even though they said they were in stock. Yeah, these weren't off Amazon. But still, I know what you're saying. But I couldn't believe that FedEx has lost these, or they're just sitting in their facility somewhere. They're not light. I mean, these are heavy duty steps, but still, I'm like, where the hell's my steps? Uniforce is not to jinx it, but we are going to get through the whole chat without a troll. Yeah, I noticed we hadn't seen any. We got 25 in here and 16 thumbs up, so that's good we haven't had any. I've been putting this whole time, I haven't logged in all my channels. Some people say it's a mistake, but for probably like 5 years or 6 years, I've said, like no kids allowed or whatever. So I always document that, say no kids, but they still pop in, I'm sure, periodically, especially on these lives. But, some people are like, oh man, it's killing your channel. I'm like, well, I don't want kids in here. Pop Doctor says, question for the group. When do you start training your kids on firearms? 4 and 2-year-old. 4-year-old started to show interest. I would start now. At least say, hey, this is a gun. I'm not saying you have to go out and start, having them shoot it. But I think I took my first shot, and the bad thing is it wasn't with a 22. It was with a 45. I think I was 7, but I wasn't. I was a pretty big kid. I want to say I started shooting, maybe it was 5. Maybe I did shoot a 22 first. I can't remember. Maybe it was a 22 rifle. I think I did on my grandfather's farm. I think I did shoot a 22 rifle when I was about 5. But when I was my first pistol, I think I was 7, and it was a Colt 45. But I say if you're showing interest, man, you can't miss out on that. My daughter, she knows how to shoot. She's actually a really good shot, but she's just not hardcore into it like I am. So I'm hoping my granddaughter will be. You know, I always say it's probably better to let them, you know, hey, this is a gun. We've got to be safe. You know, just start kind of ingraining that in it, and of course, have it completely unloaded. You know, maybe go over some basic safety with them. I don't think you can go wrong with that. Always pointed in a safe direction, you know, something like that. But then, of course, I would still lock it up with a small child like that. Scott says more than likely someone stole them and FedEx is trying to cover up that fact. Yeah, and that's what I thought too. So that's one of my guys checking into it. So who knows? Maybe the trolls looked up what a punt gun was. Punt guns are not common. That's why I won't ever get rid of this thing. I'm just going to pass it down. But I'm telling you, this thing is a freaking monster. I mean, my wife's like, she looks at it and she's like, holy crap. It's freaking obnoxious. Franny says, start talking about firearms around 4 years, take some shooting around 6. I took my son earlier this year for the first time. That's awesome. Just can't say it 3 times, Pop Doc. Yep. Franny says, I work on safety from 4 to 6 year old for only 5 minutes at a time. I started at 6-year-old too. Yeah, I mean, I think you can't go wrong with just teaching safety. You know, hey, this is a firearm. You know, we don't play with these, blah, blah, blah. You know, and again, maybe you could get an airsoft gun, let them get introduced to airsoft. You know, that's not a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing. Unit 4 says, pass it down, pass it around, yeah. Man, I'm telling you, you lift that thing, like Scott said, I mean, it is not small. It's freaking, that thing's a boat anchor. It's just obnoxious. One time, a buddy of mine, he goes, I got a pistol that, or I got, what did he say? It was something. Oh, he had an old over and under. He goes, man, I got the baddest shotgun you've ever seen. And it was his grandpa. I want to say it was a 10 gauge. Maybe it was a 10 gauge single shot. I can't remember. I thought it was an over and under. But he had gotten it from his grandfather. And he's like, man, you've never seen a shotgun like this. Anyway, he came over and I freaking lifted that thing up and walked it out in the living room. And I'm like, have you ever seen anything like this? He said, what the shit is that? And I was like, yeah, this thing's a freak of nature. But, matter of fact, he had to get a picture beside it because he's like, I have never seen this shit in my life. And I'm like, I know. I had never seen one before that either. It's just crazy. You know what I ought to do? Thinking about it, I ought to bolt some anchors into this back wall and I ought to hang that thing up. I might do that. You know, not, I mean, this will hold 100 pounds, but that would have to be single anchors, but maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll bolt it up and just stick it up on the wall somewhere because I'm not going to shoot it. I mean, it about killed me. It's not fun. Ranger says, do a big J, that'd be cool. Yeah, and plus my wife would be like, oh shit, awesome, you get it out of the freaking closet. Because I can't put it anywhere. You know, I even thought about hanging up a lot of my pump, my 22 collection. I thought about doing it on that other wall over here. Y'all can't see it, but it's over there. It'd be kind of like a rack like this, but it would be old school guns. I thought about doing that with the 22 collection. Maybe hanging them up and you know, because I have my original 22 that was my grandfather's 22. The thing's freaking awesome. It's a semi-automatic. Then I've got multiple Carnival 22 guns that I've collected. I've got a bunch of 22s. I got a 32 hex barrel. I got a bunch of old cool guns. I probably need to hang them up somewhere. So maybe I'll do that. Get them out of the safe and just hang them up. So I don't really shoot them anymore. A lot of people say that I need to sell them. They're like, man, if they're collectible 22s, you need to sell them. And I'm like, but man, if I have a grandkid, I want to pass that shit down. Because some of it was passed down to me. So I want to keep it in the family. So maybe I'll do that. Uniform says, yeah, have that thing come out of the closet. That's what I'm saying. I need 2 people to hang it on the wall. Because, man, it's a beast. And I have to have some serious anchors. Prentice says the only thing I got from both grandfathers was a 22 rifle. Yeah, I got my grandmother's 32. I've got that was her chicken gun. She used to shoot chickens with it. And what's crazy, and man, I've shot it, but I shot it with her ammo. And for some reason, and y'all will have to check me on this, but I'm not sure if it's a 32 ACP or a 32 rimfire. And those are rare. This gun is old. It's like over 100 years old, and I'm not joking. I want to say it's a 32 rimfire. And somebody told me you can convert them to 32 ACP, but I've never bought ammo for it. I have her old ammo, and I haven't read the damn box because it's so old you can't read it. And I don't have any more ammo for it, but I have the gun. So, and I want to say it's a 32 rimfire, but I need to look at the back of it and see how it strikes the case. Because if it's a rimfire, of course you know how it's going to strike it. But it's a single shot. But she used to kill chickens with this thing in the front yard. And, I mean, it's accurate, but it's a freaking iron gun. So, and she loved this gun. She shot the shit out of it. Every time it was chicken dinner time, she was shooting chickens with it. So, but that's the only one I've shot it, but like I said, I used her ammo, or used the ammo that they had in the case. But I can't remember. It's been so long ago since I've shot it, because that was probably 20 years ago when I shot that rifle. Or longer, maybe 25 years ago. Or 30, hell, I don't know. It's been over 20 years, I'm sure. But it's a really cool looking rifle. But then, yeah, a ton of the 22s. I've got probably 6 or 7 antique 22s. I think it is 32 rimfire. I really think that's what it is. I'm almost positive that's what it is. And somebody said you can convert it to a 32 ACP. I guess you just change the hammer out. I don't know, but I want to keep it original. And somebody said they're highly collectible, but I don't know that much about them. So, I don't know. But it is an octagon barrel. So the whole barrel is a hex barrel, or whatever they call it, octagon. But anyway, it is 8:19. We got 28 on here and 19 thumbs up. So y'all hit that thumbs up. I would appreciate it. But other than that, like I said, going back to the title of the chat, too expensive to EDC. Carry what works for you. If you shoot it really good, you're confident with it, you know that it's balls on, why would you not carry it? Why? Just because of the price? I mean, all that aside, if you shoot it good, why would you not want that when you're under stress, when something's happening? Why would you not want a super dependable, accurate gun? I mean, that's the way I look at it. But of course, shoot what you want to shoot, carry what you want to carry. Doesn't matter. Whatever works for you. Yeah, Pranic, I can take it up and have Danny look at it. It takes a gun experience. That guy's a guru with old lever guns, and old pistols, rifles and stuff. He's into that, so he would tell me in 2 seconds. He'd be like, "Yep, here's what it is." Blah blah blah. So, but again, if it's 32 rimfire, I don't even know if you can get ammo for it anymore. So I don't know, and I don't know where that ammo is. There was a box, and it was in my dad's case that I gave him. You know, like those big glass doors. He kept it in there, and he had a drawer in the bottom. And I don't know where the hell the ammo is. My mom said she put it up somewhere, so maybe she still has it. But you know, if I read it or if I could read it, I think there was a few boxes of it. So if I could read it, I would know for sure. Because, like I said, but I shot it on the farm way back in the day, and I just don't remember. I don't remember that much about it, to be honest with you. Jerry says, I carry my CZ75 PCR, a 9mm. Good pistol. Very good pistol. But anyway, like I said, carry what works for you. No matter the cost, who cares? You know, it's better to be safe than sorry. And if it works for you and your family to protect you, by all means, use it. If you don't want anything that's expensive and something else works for you, by all means, use it. The point is that you have it on you and you're ready to defend yourself. So, also, we are coming up to the Christmas time. This is where the weirdos come out. This is where all the stuff can happen. So keep your head on a swivel. Don't be playing on your phone. Look at your surroundings. Be aware. I've already updated my family, my friends, all relatives, all that. I'm like, do not be screwing around on your phone. Keep your head on a swivel. Know what's going on. There's just too many weirdos out there nowadays, and you know, got to be safe. We want everybody safe. And again, if you haven't reached out to family members, if it's been a long time and you've got some people that are, you know, they don't like to be alone on the holidays, reach out to them and say, hi, thinking about you, love you, you know, all that good stuff. Because there's a lot of weird stuff that's going on. There's been a lot of tragedy with losing people. This will be the first Christmas. Well, let me rephrase that. It'll be the second Christmas, but you know, a full year, I guess, a little over a year since I lost my dad. So, you know, my mom is going to be with me for Christmas, so that'll be awesome. But, you know, like I said, just reach out to loved ones and let them know you're caring about them. But I appreciate y'all as always. Y'all are the ones that make this happen, and it's always good to talk to y'all about this stuff. And if you're watching this after the chat, you want to leave a comment or something like that, I will definitely get to it. I have already said I will be off about 2 weeks coming up. I think I'll only have after this week. I think I'll only work one more week, and then I'll be off for the rest of the year. So I'm going to be going through a lot of things. I'm going to be loading up some boxes. We're going to be sitting there right here behind the floor. And during the chat, I'm just going to lift up some stuff and say, who needs this? And the first one to do it, or whoever guesses a number, I'll write a number down. And if we have 22 people in the chat like we do now, I'll say 1 to 22, you know, and y'all will throw out some numbers, and whoever guesses the numbers, I'll hold it up. I won't write anything, I'll hold it up, and if you win it, you email me and I'll ship it out to you. So I'm going to be giving away some lock grips for CZs, so if you got some CZs, you might want to tune in. We'll be giving away probably some dots. I think I've got a couple of flashlights I'll give away, but I'm going to be going through some drawers and really pulling some shit out. I'm not joking around. During those 2 weeks while I'm off, I'm going to be going through stuff like crazy. I'm not just joking around. This is a New Year's resolution, and it's going to happen. I'm going to be stripping shit out of here. I want it gone. So I would love for y'all to have it. I'm not going to do a big announcement and say, oh, if you want to win something like I've talked about before, it's going to be for the family members here. And we'll know if they're, you know, some crazy newbie that jumps in, or if it's a long-time subscriber, we'll all know it. And we're going to spread the wealth around. So unless those people don't have a CZ and, you know, they win some grips or whatever, you know, I really want y'all to have the gun if I'm giving it away and not try to sell it on eBay or something like that. I want to share some love with y'all. So that's what we're going to do. I've already given some stuff to some local friends, but more's coming. So just get ready. But I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have a wonderful night. And again, if you need some lock grips currently for something I don't have, reach out to Lock Grips. You can use my discount code. It's BJGG10. That'll save you 10% off. The same discount code will work for Armsman holsters. And BJGG10, that'll give you free shipping, 10% off. And for Impact Machine, that will help milling, optic plates, custom builds, whatever you want. So, but same discount code for those guys as well, 10% off. So I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have a wonderful night. Armsman said, I warned my mail carrier of all the packages coming from Texas. You already got a big package from Texas. PO1 grips, I will have to look. I did have some. And I thought that I gave some to a buddy, and he was like, no, those aren't PO1 grips. And I was like, shit, and they ended up being for a tan folio. So I will dig through everything I have, and I have a lot of grips. So some people, we're going to be giving away some CZ grips. Trust me. Hopefully they will be for a PO1. I know I have a lot for the CZ75, Shadow 2, Shadow 1. The bigger guns. So we'll give those away. Now here's the thing about those also, depending on where the screws are, you can trim them, but we'll let you, Pranic says that buddy was me. I didn't want to say your name in case you didn't want to know, but yeah, Pranic, I said, I got some grips for you. And I gave him 2 sets of grips, and they were for a freaking Tanfo. And I was like, shit. Because I think I gave away my PO1 grips a long time ago when I got rid of my PO1. So, but I might have some that I didn't even know about. So if I do, I'll take care of you, Pranic, first, and then we'll give away some other ones. So, but I do know that I have a shitload, an absolute shitload of Shadow 2/CZ75 full-size grips that I will be giving away. Some of them are prototypes. Some of them have my name actually etched on them. Some of them are combination colors that I had them made and you can't get them, so they're kind of one-offs, so they're cool. And if you go way back, you can see some of them. I mean way back, like 6 years. So some of them have a ledge, some of them don't. So I had them do some really cool stuff for me back in the day. And I've been working with Lock Grips for 7, 8 years. I mean, they're an awesome company, but hell, I was working with those guys when there was only one owner, or just the owner. So, and now I think they have like 13 employees. So, they went from little to big, and that's awesome. And I love companies like that. That's who I like to work with. So, but I appreciate y'all so much. Damn, Armsman, you just got like 15 mags putting out for a PO1. But anyway, you got them for what? What was it? The M&P 9 or Shield 9 and the Shield 45? If you send me the punt gun, I'll do it in review. Pop Doctor, can you imagine what the shipping on that thing would be? Holy shit. The shipping on that punt gun would be insane. Yeah, I wouldn't even do that. And I've thought about doing something also. I have 2, I need to talk to some buddies before I commit to this, but I don't want to say it because I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but I might give away a couple of rifles that aren't sentimental. But I don't know. I'm going to talk to some buddies and see what they think I ought to do. But I would like somebody else to enjoy them. And I don't really have a lot of money tied up in them. So I might do something like that. So, yeah, I'm sure it would be probably $1,000. And it'd be ground because it's so freaking big. They'd probably have to put it on a pallet or some horse shit. Have a forklift or something. They'd say it needs to be something. But anyway, like I said, I've really been wanting to clean out some stuff. I've thought about selling some stuff off, but then I thought about blessing some other people with it, you know, if I can. So anyway, I'm just doing a lot of thinking, and we're gonna make some stuff happen. I just told myself I gotta clear some shit out. Oh, okay. I don't want to say anything on this yet, but I'm gonna write it down, and I'm gonna check with some buddies, and if they don't want it, because I've got it in a closet right now. If they don't want it, I'll give it away too. So, um, and I won this like, I don't know, 3 years ago, and I never even worn it. So, some guy had a contest or something, and I didn't even put my name in the hat. I just made a comment, "Hey, great giveaway. Thanks for giving it away," or whatever. And I guess all I had to do was leave a comment. I didn't know it. So, but I'm gonna check with some buddies, and if they don't want it, then I will give it away. And what I mean by buddies is like tight friends. Um, you know, but of course, if they don't want it or they already have it, then I'm just gonna put it out there and it'll get thrown in the box and y'all can win it. We'll just have to figure out what size. um, but anyway, we'll stop with the rambling. But I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have a wonderful night. And remember, an unarmed nation's a very weak nation. You got to carry on. Yep. Hey, Shasta, how are you, buddy? Got to get a Santa hat. I do have a Santa hat, so we'll wear it. It's my Texas Santa hat. I used to wear it during some Christmas, and it has Texas on it, and it's orange. So I'll wear that when we give away stuff. Read my comment above. Let's see here. I'll read this before we go away. I could play Santa since you're going to be off and drive to deliver everything. I'm not driving. Hell with that. I'll just ship it to you. But I'll probably spend a ton of money shipping all these grips out, but whatever. We'll make it work. We'll figure it out. And if some people are local, they can just pick them up. You know, I'll just drop them off somewhere or whatever. We'll figure it out. But if you're far away, I'll ship it to you. But I appreciate y'all so much. Oh, and I do know I have 97B grips for sure. So if you have a 97B, I know Redbird does. But if you have a 97B, I do have some of those grips. Shadow 2 grips, Tanfo grips. So if you have a Tanfo stock 2, you can get some grips. And I might even set up something off the record. I might set it up with lock grips because I know not everybody has CZs and Tanfos and stuff that I have. But I might set it up with lock grips just saying, hey, if I do a giveaway, will you sponsor a giveaway? And if they have a certain gun that I don't have, will you give a set of grips away and see what they say? I'm sure I could make it work, and if I have to buy them, you know, we'll buy it. But we'll make some stuff work for people. But I'm in a giving mood, and I want this shit gone. So I appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful night. Take care.